More than 331 million people visited national parks last year. But if you're headed to one this summer, experts say to book early and have a backup plan because staffing cuts could impact your vacation.
That's right. Cassidy Jones is the Senior Visitation Program Manager at the National Parks Conservation Association. She's here to talk about what guests are experiencing this year. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
I think we need to say off the bat, people can expect disruptions this summer. The cuts are impacting things like entrance gates, visitor centers, guided tours. Can you explain how people should prepare for these changes?
That's right. This season, folks should be prepared to have everything they need and also be patient and kind. There are fewer rangers on the ground, and the rangers who are left are doing the very best they can to provide a good visitor experience, despite devastating staffing cuts that they've endured. So visitors should really come ready to be kind to the rangers they encounter and also be ready to participate in the systems that help manage crowds. So voluntary shuttles, reservation system, your advanced planning and cooperation will just help everything run more smoothly.
Yeah, we understand there's also some safety concerns for hiking trails. Tell us about the limited search and rescue capacity.
Great. The safety concerns in national parks and outdoor environments every summer kind of persist. And one of the big ones I want folks to keep in mind is heat. Heat illness, whether it's exhaustion or just dehydration, contributes to so very many search and rescue incidents. And those search and rescues are really staff intensive. So from the number of rangers involved to the number of hours to the stressful conditions that rangers kind of put themselves into in order to rescue a visitor, it's really important for folks to not become one of those search and rescue incidents. I want to remind people that the Park Service is still full of trained professionals who will absolutely be there to help you. But keep in mind the stress that you put on an already stretched thin sort of service before you assess your risk every day.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to think about that aspect of it. I know so many people, though, who it's, their lifelong dream to visit some of these national parks, to now see these cuts happening and hearing that there will be all these changes. Can you talk about some of maybe the unseen impacts and how critical work is being sidelined now because of the cuts?
Sure. As of mid-May, the Park Service has lost nearly 17% of its staff, and that's a service that was already underinvested in, especially over the last 10 years, which really doesn't match up with the fact that there have been record-setting sort of visitation numbers across the system every year. Seasonal staffing is also diminished this year. So despite efforts to hire late, only about half of the seasonal capacity that folks were hoping for have been hired. So with all of that established, I want folks to know that there's a lot of work that's going undone behind the scenes. So that's work like tribal consultation, long-term construction, planning, the education and outreach that brings the park to young people who maybe don't have the opportunity to come visit. Essential things that keep the parks protected forever are the kinds of things that have been deprioritized in this administration in order to provide good visitor services and sort of create this facade that it's business as usual at national parks.
Interesting. So, Cassie, a lot of people still making summer vacation plans, still making plans for the rest of the year. I'm one of those. I haven't been to a national park yet, and I was planning on going. So would you suggest people delay their visits? Are our visits helping? Do you guys want to see less visitors? And in what way can people help support you guys?
Folks love the national parks and public lands in this country. They should absolutely visit and enjoy them and have meaningful experiences. The most effective thing that they can do after having those experiences is speak up for parks. Decision makers kind of across the board need to hear that people value parks and public lands, and they need elected officials to advocate on behalf of them, and they need to let the administration know that these cuts, these sort of like indiscriminate staffing cuts need to stop. So I encourage people to continue to engage with your public lands, but most importantly, speak up for them. you are welcome to do so in so very many ways. The National Parks Conservation Association at npca.org is a great way to get started.
All right, definitely good to know, and at least people have a heads up of what to expect in their upcoming trips. Cassidy, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much.